I'm now going to talk to you a little bit about cultivating this practice, this visioning practice, and the reason behind it. But more so about how you can just find that quiet time to give to yourself, to make time for this particular process. As far as cutting the magazines go, cutting the imagery and the words out, that in its own right, you can do at any time. So even when you're watching television, sitting on the couch, having the prompt in mind that I'm going to give you, it's a really nice time to just sit there. You might have made yourself a really nice cup of tea. You might be treating yourself to a nice bit of sparkling something. That's a really nice time to sit and generally look through the magazines and be drawn and just be pulled, because your intellect and your academic and your main kind of forebrain is not really truly engaged about making a page. What you're doing is you're allowing the prompt just to kind of filter as an affirmation in your mind. So for maybe 30 minutes, 20 to 30 minutes, choose a couple of magazines that you're drawn to, that you have, and just flick your way through. And as you've seen some of the videos that I do, you will do anyway, but flick your way through and just be drawn to whatever is wanting to be pulled out, to be cut out. You can rip out if you'd prefer, rip pages out, or you can actually cut out the image or the word that you're drawn to. And again, your academic, your intellect, your kind of left brain doesn't really need to know why or how it's going to be used. It just wants to be taken out of the magazine. So just notice what catches your eye. Notice any colour that you might be drawn to that doesn't have any words on it or any image. So there might just be a backdrop on a page and it's a particular colour that really, really drags you in. So cut that out and put it to one side. Don't spend any time analysing these images at all. Just put them to one side, and I call this the intuitive sifting process, because that's what it is. You don't have to think too much at this point, apart from the prompt that I have given you, the Muse Mantra prompt. So as an example, one of the prompts might be find the joy around you. So, and it is one of the prompts, there's a little hint there. Find the joy around you, which is a Muse Mantra prompt from the card deck. So as you're flicking through, turning over the pages, think about joy. Keep saying in your mind, find the joy around you. Find the joy around you. Keep saying those words to yourself as you actually move through those pages and take those images out and put them to one side. Now, as far as carving out and cultivating this practice, it's really nice to have lovely music on in the background. Sometimes I will put on YouTube on the television, and I'm really into Brazilian music. But I like all sorts. At the moment, I'm going through a bit of a Brazilian phase. But, anything that makes me feel relaxed, I'll create a little bit of a playlist. And I will listen to that as I am going through the magazines. And what you're doing is you're anchoring the music to the process. So just as music is a reminder for you, when you hear a track from the 80s or the 90s, or from 3 weeks ago when you were out with a friend and it played over and over in the bar, and it takes you back immediately to you and her sitting there. Tracks do that, don't they? Music has that really wonderful way of pulling us in and taking that memory, taking us along that memory again. So you're doing the same thing here. So creating a music playlist is a really lovely thing to do just for this visioning with the Muse process. The muse is you, the muse is inside of you, and the muse is outside of you. So you're connecting to your inner muse, that muse that is inspired by creativity, by music, by poetry, by comedy, by general knowledge and all sorts of things that are around you. The muse is within you, but you're also connecting to the muse with outside of you who is inspiring you through this process. I might be your muse as I'm inspiring you to do this. The people in the group that we're going to connect with, they are also our muses, because each of us is going to be inspiring each other. So that's what you need to think about for creating the ritual. Think about the music, thinking, as I said in one of the videos, sometimes I do it quietly when I'm cutting out, but when I am actually making my page, I tend to like to have music on at that point, and that's where I will put on a playlist of tracks that I've already set up. Sometimes I'll just put on YouTube and have a look at Brazilian music, and that will just be in the background as I'm creating the pages.